Well, good afternoon, everyone. Jared Fowler coming you live today from a very somber great state of Texas for a very special edition of NHL 22. Haven't done this in a while, and of course, as most of you, most of my followers and who are new to my channel, most of you have known that right around this time of year is the anniversary of my wife Michelle's passing. It's actually coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks on June the 15th. We recently celebrated our what would have been our 10-year anniversary just 3 weeks ago. But another reason it is somber today in the state of Texas, as most of you are aware, there was a horrific and senseless tragedy in the state of Texas and South Texas in the city of Uvalde. It is a small city just about 80 miles west of San Antonio. And Robb Elementary and the shooting, senseless act of violence, a loss of life, unthinkable, very horrific tragedy here. And it happened yesterday morning. And it has been all over. It made national in the headlines, made national news, and maybe even around the world. I don't really know. But all of Texas and all of our country is in mourning right now. A lot of fourth graders and a lot of young students and a couple of teachers, 18, along with the two teachers and as well as the gunman, are all gone. And normally, for me, when I was that age, it was around this time. Everyone's excited because we're getting out for summer break, and a lot of schools, elementary schools, are having a award ceremony for outstanding accomplishments, academic accomplishments throughout the year. And you know, really, there is no words to express what everyone is feeling here, especially the families. I can only imagine what they're going through. I mean, just a senseless act of violence. An 18-year-old gunman had military-style rifles, I believe, like an AR-5, an AK-47. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know all of the details, but it's all over the news. And, a lot of hashtag prayer for Uvalde is trending right now. And, just parents that were actually able to attend the award ceremony yesterday took pictures with their students along with their accomplishments, and no one knew that they would pick them up after school, but it didn't happen for them. And folks, it's times like these where we have to realize, life is so very fragile. I mean, I just feel, and this is just me here. I just feel that ever since my wife Michelle's passing in 2019, going on 3 years now, it has been nothing but tragedy after tragedy, death after death. Just the massacres and the shootings, and all the violence in large urban areas, rioting, war. It's just a sad world that we live in right now. But to take such 18 young lives, well, 16, not excluding the two teachers that lost their lives. I mean, it's unthinkable. It's unheard of. And you got to really feel for of course you have to feel for the families in this. I mean, from what I've been reading online, there is a sole survivor. It's a young little girl, a fourth grader, that was shot 5 times, and she's out of surgery. She's expected to make a full recovery, but just think of what she has to live with for the rest of her life. She's going to be scarred for life. And a lot of her friends and her classmates did not make it. And you gotta give hats off to the two teachers that basically sacrificed themselves to protect those kids in their classrooms. Two teachers did not make it. They had kids of their own. They had families. They had husbands. Think of their families. I mean, there really are no words to express what's going on right now. This whole country is in mourning, probably the whole world. And we just want to, there's just a lot of questions without any answers. I mean, it's just been a horrific day for the city of Uvalde, all of South Texas, all around Texas. And Our thoughts and prayers are going to the city of Uvalde, Robb Elementary. That's all. I mean, sadly enough, that's all. When you think of Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, that's where the school shooting happened. Or places like Columbine High School in Colorado. Well, that's where the big mass shooting happened. I mean, there are no words to express this, folks. And I haven't done this in a while. I've been dealing with my depression. I haven't streamed in quite a while, but today I'm going to bring you a silent broadcast. It's the way uh, whenever this country is in mourning. Hockey is my therapy, whether it be real hockey or Stanley Cup playoffs that are going on right now, or video games like this right here in NHL 22. So I've elected to bring you a silent broadcast, and of course, if you'll look at off to the right of the screen, you will be free to comment here, leave your comments, and your thoughts. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the city of Uvalde and all the families of the tragic victims here. But I'm going to turn my mic off here, and I'll come in back and talk to you between periods as I've done. But I've selected a very special exhibition game for today. The closest city to Uvalde right now is San Antonio, 80 miles east of Uvalde. And today I've selected them to be the home team, the San Antonio Dragons, but I'm also going to transform them into Los Chimuelos for their Spanish heritage. And they are going to take on the U.S. national team in an exhibition game at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. So this is for the families and the victims and the city of Uvalde, Texas. And may God be with all the victims' families today and for the city of Uvalde. So enjoy this exhibition, Los Chimuelos de San Antonio against the U.S. national team exhibition game in the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. Silent broadcast. Enjoy. Well, there you have it. First period of in the books of this exhibition game. No score here between Los Chimuelos and Team USA. And if you're just joining me here, this is a special exhibition game dedicated to the victims and the families of the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde, Texas yesterday afternoon. And 18 people, including 2 teachers, have lost their lives. And all these kids were so young, mostly 4th graders, and who were about to finish school for the school year, about just 2 days away from going on summer break. I'm sure all these kids were excited, but instead of heading out for summer, they're hiking up the stairway to heaven. And as I mentioned in my previous broadcast, my late wife Michelle, she was a child care provider and she loved working with kids, and now she has about, I believe, 18 or 19 more to look after, to provide child care for until they're reunited with their families. And just a senseless act of violence yesterday in Uvalde, Texas, but that's what this broadcast here, a silent broadcast between Los Chimuelos, aka the San Antonio Dragons, against the U.S. national team. So no score here as we get set to head back out to Freeman Coliseum and enjoy the second period. Alright, so we have 4 goals scored in the second period in this exhibition game. Team USA leads Los Chimuelos 3-1. And, excuse me, the reason I selected the San Antonio Dragons, or Los Chimuelos de San Antonio, as the home team, closest city to Uvalde, Texas is San Antonio, the closest metro city. And Uvalde is about 15,000 population. And the reason I chose Los Chimuelos to be the home team is because Uvalde is about 78% of their population is Hispanic, and Los Chimuelos and San Antonio known for their Spanish heritage. So I selected them to be the home team to take on the U.S. national team. And as you can see, Team USA leads it 3-1 here in the second intermission of this special exhibition game here on NHL 22 or here on the LSGN, Lone Star Gaming Network. Thank you for tuning in. And once again, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is dedicated to the shooting victims and their families at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. And all of our country is in mourning. Another senseless act of violence. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a supermarket shooting in Buffalo, New York, and just a few weeks prior to that, we had another act of violence in a local high school here, where a young man was stabbed to death in the restroom, and he wasn't a senior this year, but that's just another life gone too soon. And here are 18 more lives, young lives, mostly fourth graders. And not much is known about the shooter. At least I don't know much about him. He was 18 years old. He acquired these assault rifles that he used in the shootings and the killings of these kids and their teachers. We can only imagine what's going on through people's minds. Mental illness, they say a lot of has to do with mental illness, but you really can't blame that. And a lot of people want to blame guns for killing people. No, that's not the truth. I mean, people kill people, and that's what happened in this case. We don't know what was going through the young man's mind, and I'm not here to judge anyone, but you know, it was unnecessary. None of this was necessary. I don't know what he was trying to prove here, but he was one of the people that were shot and killed by local law enforcement. And I know a lot of people are angry with him. I know I'm a little angry with him. I mean, it just two questions: how and why. And I think those questions are going to be left unanswered for many, many years to come. But nevertheless, it's a very, very sad day here in our country, especially here in Texas. And this is why I decided to bring you this exhibition game. And we still have one more period to go. Team USA leads Los Chimuelos 3-1 as we get set for the third and final period here at Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. And we'll see you at the end of today's game. Well, there you have it, folks. Exhibition game has come to an end. Final score: Team USA 5, Los Chimuelos 2. So um, today's game was dedicated to the city of Uvalde, the victims of the Robb Elementary shooting, and just a very, very sad day here in not only in Texas but the entire country. This entire country is in mourning by the shootings at Robb Elementary yesterday. Uh, 18 kids lost their lives, and 2 teachers as well. And of course, my heart goes out to all of them, the city of Uvalde. But most of all, I brought this to you today as a way to honor them, a silent broadcast. Uh, so it's what I normally do in tragedies such as this. But hope you enjoyed today's game, everyone. And I will try to bring you more uh, action here on NHL 22 here on Lone Star Gaming Network. But again, before you head out tonight, hug your loved ones tight. For those kids getting ready to let out for the summer, before you send them to school, folks, hug them an extra tight tonight, because life is so very fragile, and you never know when God's gonna call you home, as I have found out 3 years ago. Uh, it's just 18 lives gone too soon, and of course our thoughts and prayers are with the city of Uvalde. But say a prayer for those extra prayer for those people out there tonight, for those kids that have for the parents that have lost their kids, and for the 2 teachers, their families, as they sacrificed their lives trying to protect all those students that were killed in the mass shooting yesterday. There was one survivor. She's expected to make a full recovery, but she's going to be scarred for the rest of her life. And we can only imagine what she's going to be going through. She's going to have a long road of recovery ahead of her, along with several other surgeries. But again, thank you for watching today, folks. Our final score: Team USA 5, Los Chimuelos 2. And this is Jared Fowler signing off. Say a prayer for Uvalde.